So I ended the last episode saying that I would reveal this one, who won the World Series, the 2024 World Series, and we have yet again another Los Angeles winner. It was the 2023 was the Angels, and then 2022 was our first full season. Taking over was the Dodgers. So it's gone Dodgers, Angels, Dodgers. It was Dodgers and Angels in the World Series. The Dodgers straight up swept them, though. And yeah, so it had to have been a very entertaining World Series. I think, let's just take a quick look. Is Trout still? Yeah, Trout's still doing it. Still number one at 33. Shohei's still there. What kind of contract? I'm getting sidetracked already. He's on a fairly cheap contract, too. Anthony Rendon's still here on his ridiculous contract. Anyways, all right. So Yandy and Vidal Brujan did not get their second ring. They had a chance to do it, so they're having some success out there. Anyways, so that's that for kind of wrapping up last year. If you can't see from the thing, from the date, we already are at opening day. We got through the off season, and I have a bunch of things to show you. A lot of moves. We obviously did not really have the money to make any signings, nor did I really think that we needed signings. We have a lot of, like I said before, we had a lot of. We have a great core, but just not putting together right now. So we made a ton of trades, though. Classic Rays, we're at 40-man roster shuffling, some players regressing, cutting some salaries when we can. So let's go and take a look at our major transactions. We'll go back to, I guess, October. Anything here? So this is a small move. We claimed this reliever Clayton Andrews from the White Sox, I believe. Yep. Just a lefty arm. Looks really good. And we moved a few of our other kind of like more expensive, older relievers. So he's going to kind of come in and play, be right in our bullpen right away. Obviously on the minimum deal. So I like that. Anything else here? Not really. Tucker Barnhart is no longer on the team. I don't know if anybody was really waiting in anticipation to see if that was going to be the case. All right, so we'll start here at the bottom. Clayton Andrews there. Kind of did some coaching changes. This arbitration brought a lot of people back, but spoiler, not all of those guys that got arbitration are still on the team. This is contract renewals. All right, first trade we made. Trying to free up some space. We got rid of Isaac Paredes. Really sad to see him go. I said this multiple times. He's one of my favorite players on the team right now in real life, but also it was fun to have him around. He played really well for us. I mean, we cannot really complain. Last year was kind of his one down year. He's never was kind of like a last year was his kind of first year being a kind of full-time player, but he had one of his worst offensive years, which is still not awful by no means, but yeah, just but 2022, 2023, just great years as far as just being kind of off the bench, playing first base, third base, second base type situation. But the problem is just he was getting expensive, and we didn't have a lot of money to work with. I think also his ratings were going down a little bit. Yeah, I mean, he used to. Wow, let me try that again. He used to be a 50-55, but now he's gone down to 45 and kind of reached his ceiling there. And then he was close to, after arbitration, it was close to $6 million. And so I hated to do it, but I looked at it and I was like, man, I just can't justify paying $6 million to a guy that's probably kind of past his best days right now. I mean, he's only 26 too. So we went to our old trading buddies, the Angels, who just lost the World Series, and we've given them Yandy, we gave him Vidal Brujan, now we've given him Isaac Paredes, and we gave him Brendan McKay, who also a good player. I mean, he's been really good. I hated to see him go. A good lefty arm who's started a lot of games for us. He's also done a lot of long relief for us. 2022 and 2023 were really good years if you look at that. Look at his stats there. Last year, though, just not great. But then again, everybody was not great, but pretty much all of his numbers got worse. He's had the fragile tag. Luckily, we didn't really need to deal. I don't remember him getting injured too many times. But he was hitting arbitration, fragile. Didn't have a great year last year. So I threw him in the deal. Also, he had no option years left either. So we threw him in the deal, and we got back Cooper Criswell here. So I'll be honest again. I played this a while ago, and now I'm recording, so I'm trying to remember kind of the moves. Honestly, looks okay. I don't think he was the main part of the deal. Maybe he was. Maybe he looked. Well, let me just look at the scouting real quick. No, I mean, that was about what he was. Yeah, always been. So he's just a starting pitching depth piece for us. I think we just threw him, but we got Cole Young. Yeah, I think this was kind of like the bigger part of the deal. Yeah, okay, I think that's what it was. Paredes just didn't have a massive market, which makes sense just with him being so expensive and also not the greatest player ever. But we were able to get Cole Young here from the Angels, who's a interesting fielding prospect here. Looks like he can do a little bit of everything. Yeah, he can play outfield, play infield as well. Actually, I'm going to throw him on my position training short list and get him working on second base here. And he's also 21, so let's put him in A ball. We'll put him in high A. Put him right there. See how it goes. But yeah, so not a huge return there. Honestly, the Angels, looking back, because it looks like Brandon McKay's ratings has gone up, or at least, looking better than when he was with us. But anyway, so we'll see how it goes. But again, injuries, so I'm okay with that trade. Next bigger trade, we did an divisional trade here with our rivals, the Red Sox. Looks like we get rid of a few of our relievers. Jason Adam had a really bad year last year. Awful, honestly. Also hitting arbitration, $2 million. This is just me kind of, like I said, trimming the fat, just kind of getting rid of some players that did not have a great year, saving a little bit of money here and there with all of these other contracts we have. We also threw in Jalen Beeks, who also had a very bad year last year. Also getting expensive, not super expensive, but for the Rays and for a reliever is getting up there. So we gave him to the Red Sox to see maybe they can do it. We also threw in some prospects here. Doesn't look like much here with Rodrigo Romero. Just kind of whatever, filler. Picardo here, again, not a whole lot. And then Edwin Zamudio, again, not a ton, but you never know. Those guys might make it, and good for the Red Sox if they can. In return, we got minor league pitcher here, Ricky Salinas. I don't even think he's not even on the 40-man. He's 29. I think just kind of extra piece to make the deal work. But he could be. Just a little bit of depth there. Nothing too crazy. We got this Gilberto Jimenez, or Gilberto, maybe. Switch hitting, center fielder, 70 range. I thought he was just great to have. 24 years old. Obviously, the bat isn't... honestly, the bat's not too bad. With the 70 range, I brought him in because our center field next year is going to be very much up in the air with Brian Reynolds and Manny Margot's contracts both being up. I would love to bring him back, but that's not looking amazing with the money situation. So having Jimenez here as just an option to be able to turn to. We also have Kiermaier, but just a couple of really good defensive center fielders to at least hold if we can't bring them back to have in our wings. But having a young player here, switch hitting. I love switch hitters, so I was happy with that. And we also brought in a former, much bigger prospect for the Red Sox, but we brought in Blaze Jordan as well. Just another big time power hitting first baseman. And we'll just see what he can do. Potential to get up to 65 home run power. You love to see that. Also, just awesome name. And he also he destroyed high A last year at 21 years old. Almost 7 WAR. So he's in Double A, and he might be an option at some point soon. He is Rule 5 eligible for next year. But yeah, so I don't think it's too bad. I really like that trade, getting a few kind of prospects. We're able to free up 40-man spots, clear a little bit of money through, got about $5 million off the books, another $5 million, and brought in some decent little pieces here for the future. So what else here? Okay, this was probably the biggest trade, something I didn't necessarily have on my horizon before. But we traded with the Washington Nationals. I was speaking the praises of Carson Kelly here, but I traded him to the Nationals because we got a huge haul, 3 very big pieces, I think, for us. First of all, we got another starting pitching in Cade Cavalli. Looks really good. Had a really good last year, 4.2 WAR. Look at that. 0.7, led the league in home runs per 9. Exactly what we want. He had just, I don't know, it was just another starting pitching rotation piece to go along with Rasmussen and McClanahan and Boz and JJ Goss. So Cade Cavalli, welcome, 26 years old. Not even too expensive in arbitration right now, but maybe we'll have to see, because a lot of guys coming in arbitration. I'm just adding some more contracts, so we'll have to see. But we also got 26-year-old catcher Keibert Ruiz. I'm struggling right now. Switch hitting catcher, came from the Dodgers in real life to the Nationals. I'm forgetting what trade that was. Oh man, that's gonna bug me. He got traded. It was a trade deadline deal. Dodgers and Nationals. Who was that? That's 2 years ago. Anyways, I can't remember right now. It's gonna probably right when I'm done recording. Anyways, he had a pretty good year last year. 2.1 WAR. Obviously, catcher ability is not super high, but it's, I think, good enough. And I think we're gonna rock with that. So a lot more offense coming from our catching position, possibly. So we kind of swapped Kelly for Ruiz there. And then also the huge one, we got Luis Garcia here. 24-year-old left-handed, just kind of do it all type guy. Another kind of middle infielder tech is kind of where he fits, slots the best. He can do right field as well. But I noticed that his outfield ranges were pretty good. And so I got him trained up on left field to play some left field for us, possibly. And he can do a little bit of right field as well. But just a super contact, kind of looks like a Wander right here. But you can just look. Right here is 50 out of 65 at left field. But if we put him at just second, look at him. He's a 75 overall type guy. I don't know, overall's not everything, but still, it's a pretty good indicator. He didn't have an amazing year based off of his statistics last year, but it was good. 15% above league average with OPS. And hopefully he just gets even better and just being really flexible for us. Another lefty to go along with some of our other moves we made at the end of last season. So really excited for that return. 3, impact players right now, people we don't need to wait for. And let's just look at the what we gave up. So I already told Carson Kelly. We got his money off the books as well. Not that it was necessarily bad money or too expensive, but that did help. We finally got rid of Tyler Gentry, who kind of was in the same boat of the Alec Burleson situation. Had high hopes for him. I still think he can be a solid player, but he was just been garbage for us. But then again, he had very few plate appearances, but he wasn't even playing too well in AAA last year. So, wish him the best of luck. We're sending him over to the Nationals to play with another former Ray and Josh Lowe. And we also have Nicky Lopez here, was a kind of a shortstop option we had signed at one point. I think we did have him on the 40-man, but he did have 70 range. I really like having like a lefty kind of in a skill position, like in one of the high premium defensive positions. But his range went down to a 65. It's still not bad, but just didn't see the reason for him to not stop this trade. So Nicky Lopez over with the Nationals now. And then we also threw in another prospect here, Jonathan Leon. a decent prospect. Usually I don't like to give up too many prospects, or at least like, ones that look like they have a decent chance of developing. But 22 years old, still in rookie ball, not too concerned. Doesn't have a great defensive home. And the bat is okay. It could be good, and I definitely see I think he can make the big leagues for sure. But yeah, I'm really liking the haul that we got back there. So 3 great players, not anything really. I don't even remember exactly how the trade came about. Maybe one of those guys was on the trade block. I think it was Cavalli, and then just kind of messed around with it. And was able to pull this one off. So I think that was a really good trade, getting 3 really young pieces just to add to our already really good team. Got a mixture of starting pitching and offense. Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with that. So we'll move on here now to October. Anything? Wait. Oh, sorry, that was November. So move on to December. Wow, I know how months work. On the 9th. Oh, okay, so I think that's what it was. Sorry, I just noticed Chris Wall, I put him on waivers, so he did have a... Oh, wait, but he is on the 40-man. I guess I'm still paying him, but I got him off of the 40-man, right? Yeah, I don't... Anyways, whatever. Figure that out later. Another really cool trade here. Another interdivisional trade with the Baltimore Orioles. Got another reliever off the books who had an awful year last year. You can see the trend there. Gotten rid of all the guys who had bad years. Not that I'm against second chances and get them to work, but yeah, was not too interested in trying to get. I think Phoenix Sanders has not even been. Yeah, he wasn't even great for us 2 years in a row. So not torn up about this. We also threw in Alika Williams. A pretty okay, really good defensive. Second base / shortstop prospect. Didn't really have a whole lot of room for him. I think he was also Rule 5 eligible. We sent him over to the Orioles for Will Johnston. Really cool. Starting pitcher. He could be a starter, but he's showing up as a reliever right now. Yeah, so, I mean, really solid starting pitching prospect here. 24, so, I mean, he's fairly developed already. Could come up this year, maybe. But the prize piece, I think, was Colton Cowser, who is a real-life, super high, in the Orioles organization prospect, left-handed outfielder. It looks like he could play first, play maybe third. Yeah, he could play a little first. Is really what it is. If we need be, but play a corner outfielder, lefty bat, pretty solid, pretty average speed, but really good bat. Above average contact and power. I had him in, I think I had a Brave save last year's, obviously offline, but it was a really fun save that he came on. I got Cowser in a trade there, and he became, he was a multi-time all-star here, but he has option years left. So he's going to start the year in AAA, but definitely could be a piece that we bring up with injuries. You never know, especially with all the injuries we got hit with last year. And he had an amazing year last year, last couple of years. He's pretty much torn it up at every minor league spot he's been to. So really enjoy this. The one thing I noticed, which was very unraised like, was just kind of lack of a ton of really high profile. Minor league or our minor league system just kind of got depleted a little bit. A lot of guys just not working out, like Ian Seymour, Jacob Lopez, a lot of those pitching guys. The jury's still out on JJ Goss. Yeah, so kind of bringing in some young guys like that. I'm looking forward to. Speaking of Ian Seymour, we traded him away. He had an awful year last year. Traded him to the Twins, along with Faustino Carrera, who I believe was Rule 5 eligible. So we threw him in there. Solid pitching prospect there. And we got, who did we get in return? Junior Severino, who doesn't look like much. He had to have been different. I don't know if I would have. Yeah, he maybe went down in ratings, or it's because he's at second base. No, I think he went down in ratings. That's not great. Oh, okay. Anyways, it's not too. I don't have a huge future for him. I think we threw him in here just to kind of get the trade working. We've got this crazy good catching prospect here from the Twins. I mean, obviously not great catcher ability, but really good bat. I might move him to first base, honestly, just to kind of be a DH first base kind of guy that can maybe do catcher if you need him to. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of passed up on this bat, and to not have to give up too much. Again, freeing up 40-man spot with Ian Seymour. We put, this was a sad one, Chris Rodriguez, got the fragile tag. His ratings are plummeting. It just stinks because he was with, this was the Brujan Yandy trade, was it not? Yes, it was. So our two members of that team, or of that trade, Brandon Marsh and Chris Rodriguez for Yandy and Vidal Brujan. This is I would venture to say that most of my trades, they end up okay. Usually, as I would say, at least somewhat of a win for me. This one definitely was not, because we traded Brandon Marsh away in the Brian Reynolds trade, David Bednar. So I mean, we got value. We had to tack on other pieces to that trade. So I mean, those guys are still on the team. But man, Chris Rodriguez, huge injuries, and it's just kind of taking. So we put him, we designated him for assignment, and yeah, so he was really had high hopes. I mean, he's been real good when he is pitching, but I just kind of don't trust with his ratings going down. So what else here? Anything else? Nothing in January. February, Trey Sweeney got injured, I believe, in spring training. So he's going to be out for 2 months with a ruptured tendon in his finger. Not too worried, just because I do have obviously a ton of depth in the middle infield area. But excited to have him back. I would like to see how he does this year. And I believe that is it up to this point. Drew Rasmussen's he's fragile as well. Okay, I think that's everything as far as the offseason. So a ton of trades. I would love to see you rate them. Tell me how I did. I'm very excited for that Nationals trade. But in the meantime, I can take you to look at the opening day roster. All right. Here's our opening day roster on the offensive side. Our catching position looks very different. We got Keibert Ruiz, obviously, going to be our main catching, our number one starter catcher. And then we also have, we called up Blake Hunt. Really good catcher ability and arm, just to be a really kind of a defensive replacement, and not an awful bat. So he's going to be, I figured instead of going for all those kind of veterans and the rotating door veterans that I had as backup catcher last year, we'll go to our farm system. We got Blake Hunt up here. We'll look at outfielders. As you can see, Randy, he survived the offseason, and he's got a decent sized contract on him. This really is, I keep saying this, but this really is the make or break year. He could be a trade deadline move. Just because getting expensive, and we need some money for some of these other players that I kind of value a little bit above him. But he's really going to be more of a fourth outfielder this year, except for probably against lefties. So I think he's getting the start against lefties. Yeah, he is. So we also have Luis Garcia here playing left field. Like I said, we got him trained over there. But I'm also not opposed to bringing him into the infield if an injury pops up, whatever that may be. What else we got? Nick Gordon is still here, kind of a super utility guy. We had a really good year. Well, I mean, it was okay with us, but I really like his utility. His speed is great to have on the base paths. Play shortstop, play backup shortstop, second base. The outfield, really good defensive range as well. But we got our two pretty much center fielders, our two stars of the outfielder. We got Brian Reynolds going to be playing a lot of center for us, and excited to see what he can do in a full year. He had a great stint with us in just half of the year last year, so full year of that would be great. And then Manny Margot playing right field. These two are like I said, big question mark with these guys, just because of both of their contracts are up after this, so we might go from having both of them to none of them. I don't know. We'll have to see. They're both 30, right? Yeah, they're both 30 years old, so not too old, but we'll have to see. All right, going into the infield, Curtis Mead back again. Really kind of lost the starting job right now to Michael Busch. His rating, he just kind of stopped developing. Didn't have a great year last year. We'll have to see what he does. He does have an option, so I could see him definitely being. He had a really good spring training. That's why he made the opening day roster. If you can look here, pretty crazy. Bat 400 in spring training. Not that means too much, but kind of like to ride the hot hand. We got Michael Busch here. Had an okay, he had a pretty solid spring training actually. He's gonna get the start at I think DH for most of the time. He's DH against righties. I don't have him in against lefties, so yeah, so he's going to be DHing against righties, and then I think we have we have Curtis Mead playing first against sorry, I have Mead in for both. Mead is still our starting first baseman, as our DH that kind of gets swapped around here. Okay, so we got Brandon Lau. He is our starting second baseman against righties and is DHing against lefties. And then we have Cronenworth here is playing a little third base, playing a little second base, and our guy, Wander, holding it down to shortstop. We didn't end up getting like the super high defensive shortstop, and that's mostly because we have a logjam of other players. I didn't know who else to send down. We'll see. I think he'll be just fine again. And then lastly, our kind of one disappointment is Gavin Lux. His ratings kind of went down a little bit, at least in my scout. I think it's a little bit less of him, a lot less actually. He went from a 60 to a 50, skipped right over the 55 at second base. So not exactly sure what's going on there. He had an okay spring training, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. I mean, he could help make up my mind as far as who to bring back and stuff. As far as he has one more year of team control, he could be a trade deadline move or even just an offseason move just to save some money for some other players. We'll see how he plays. Doesn't have the greatest bat against lefties, so he's kind of really just kind of backup utility guy. He can play second, corner, outfield. So there's that. Let's go to pitching. Here's our really good starting rotation, in my opinion. Let me see, is there... Okay, yeah, so Drew Rasmussen starting the year on the IL, as well as Trey Sweeney. So Griffin Canning, we'll start kind of from the bottom. Griffin Canning is still here after being a waiver wire pickup last year and all the problems, but he's kind of a decent option, and we just have him here as a fifth starter just to tide me over until Rasmussen comes back. JJ Goss, very excited for his. He has yet to let up an earned run. He had 3 games. He pitched 6 in a third innings before he got injured last year. So we'll see. I'll see how long he can keep that streak up with allowing no earned runs. He did get the fragile tag though, so that's not great. But excited to see what he can do in a full season. Hopefully the injury bug doesn't get to him. We already talked about Cade Cavalli. He's stepping up into our third spot. Probably be a fourth starter once Rasmussen gets back. I don't know if you could hear that. There was some weird ding from somewhere. Anyways, I gotta hurry this up. My wife is bringing Chick-fil-A home. Excited for that. Sorry. I don't know why I whispered into the mic like that. Anyways, we got McClanahan here. Being our second starter. Really hoping for a bounce back year from. All right, so I got my Chick-fil-A break in there. I'm good to go, boys. I'm back. To be honest, I have no idea where I was. We just started rotation, right? We're on the bullpen. Yeah, I think we're on the bullpen. All right, so we'll start with Garrett Crochet here. He got injured last year. He only pitched 41 innings for us. It was not all that great in those 41 innings, but we're excited to see what full season of him doing. He's going to be kind of long relief. Maybe could start here and there for us. We got JP Fireisen, who was not his usual self last year. Hoping for a bounce back. That's kind of a running theme with all of our pitchers. Luis Patino is still here. Didn't really have a trade market, and that's understandably so. He's 25. I mean, his ratings aren't awful, but his stamina went down, so he's regulated to pretty much just being a bullpen guy now. So we'll see how he does for a little bit, and he really could just be kind of a DFA target at some point. If he underperforms. Here's Jake Cousins, who was really good in the time he was with us. I'm just looking for more of that. He's going to be in the middle relief. We'd already talked about Clayton Andrews, a waiver wire pickup. Excited to see what he brings to the table. We got Nick Anderson here. Could be a trade deadline piece movement because of his contract's up, and he wants a kind of ridiculous contract that we're not giving to a reliever. Also at 34 years old, but we're going to get the most out of him while we can. He's going to be in the setup role with Trebuchet. I don't know. And he was not too great being with us. He came over in the Soto trade, correct? Yeah. But we'll see. See how he does. And then we have Bednar being our closer. He was really good for us. And looking for a full season again. Let's take a look. Last thing. Let's just look at... I had to bring Carson Williams up to the 40-man because he was eligible, believe it or not, only at 21 years old. I'm not really sure how that happens, I guess. Number 88 prospect in baseball, super utility guy. He's obviously not ready yet, but we'll see. I have him in Double-A this year. He was okay last year. We'll see what he can do. Probably not going to come up at all this year, I don't think, but we got him there to protect him. We also have Kyle Manzardo is on the 40-man. Now, he's looking really good. I really like his bat. Lefty first baseman. He's starting the year in Triple-A. Definitely could be somebody I could see coming up for somebody struggling, maybe like a Mead. Luke Murphy, another relief option here. Had options left, so he's there. Colby White, another option for the bullpen. We got a couple. We have Cowser here we talked about. Taj Bradley, I think he was on the 40-man line. Oh, yeah, he made his debut last year and was really good, actually. But he had an option, so we're starting him in AAA. He can make the call up shortly. We already talked about Colton Cowser. Andrew Vaughn starting the year back on AAA. He was really good. Not really good, but he was pretty good last year. But he just had an option and freed up his space. He's going to want a lot in arbitration, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Kendall Williams is one of those pitching prospects we got in the Soto deal. He's up, another starter possibly. Xavier Edwards. His ratings are kind of going down, so not quite sure what I'm going to do with him. He's not been very good in his time up. And then Jacob Lopez is still here, despite him kind of being very much a disappointment last year. Last thing we'll do before we move on to the opening day game, our tradition, let's just look at some of our prospects. Our top prospect is the 44th prospect in baseball. Junior Caminero, been talking about him forever. He's actually at 21 years old now, believe it or not, and his ratings are getting up there. He's in Double-A this year. He's played pretty well every spot he's been in. So he's probably not this year, but maybe next year he could be making his debut. We have a couple of starting pitchers. Next, we have Nick Bitsko, who's looking pretty developed, almost ready to go. We got Sandy Gaston here, also looking really good. Two guys that probably also could make their debut this year. So they're really possibly going to need them. I mean, we got Crochet, Rasmussen, and JJ Goss, and Griffin Canning, who's kind of just, he's expendable. Four guys that are either injury prone or kind of expendable, like I said. So we're probably going to need them at some point. So interested to see how they do. They're both in AAA, so we got to have a pretty killer rotation there in Durham this year. We talked about Carson Williams, talked about Kendall Williams. We got Jose Ramos, also from the the Soto deal. He did not make the 40-man, so we took a bit of a risk on him, not getting swooped up during the Rule 5 draft, but he didn't, so he's still here. Definitely going to be another outfielding option for us, along with Colton Cowser. We got Ramon Sanchez here. He was that guy we traded. No, we did not. He was our international prospect signing in 2023. Really good catcher ability. I forgot, but he's low. Let's get a scouting report on him to make sure that he's as good as they say he is. And then we also have, to round out our top 200, we have Anthony Molina here. He's also a pretty well major league ready starting pitching arm who's been pretty good the last couple of years in the minor leagues. Blaze Young, we talked about. Manzardo, we talked about. Let's just take a quick look. What a sort all players potential. Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of gives you just a brief overview. Won't go through everybody, but Gaston, I forgot. He is out right now. Torn flexor tendon. He's already fragile too. Actually, I didn't even notice that. So that's not great. A lot of injury problems with our pitching. But here you go. Anyway, so this is the kind of the overview of our minor league system, some of our top prospects, just rating by potential. And yeah, this is our team. I think that's it. I want to say there was a couple of big names in the offseason, was there not? I think Aaron Judge. Oh, yeah, he went to the Padres. I think he just signed that contract. Yeah, 5-year deal, making a lot of money. He's fragile, though. Anybody else? Any other big? No, I think that's it. All right. Well, let's look into going into game one of 162. We're going up against a 34-year-old Garrett Cole here with the Yankees. We'll look at their team real quick. Not looking great. DJ Mayhew is still here. Gleyber Torres is still here. He developed into a star. Didn't have an amazing year last year. It was pretty good, though. So he's still there. Greg Allen, Giancarlo Stanton's still there, 35 years old. Really not a whole lot. They got Mitch Garver, Juan Yepes there. IKF still there. That's pretty much it. Oh, Rays legend Evan Longoria is playing third base for him. Forgot. I think he just signed there this offseason. But all right, let's hop in. And let's see how this team performs. Garrett Cole, got our new addition, Luis Garcia, up here playing in Yankee Stadium, I think, for the first time in this series. Playing a game. I mean, obviously we played many games in Yankee Stadium in simulation, but actually watching the game, first time there. So let's see how it goes. First at bat. Looks like first pitch as well. First pitch of the game, Luis Garcia hits it deep center, but not enough. Greg Allen catches it out there. Got Wander up now. Wander strikes out. Then we got Manny Margot. Manny strikes out. So really good first inning for Garrett Cole. And we got Shane Baz taking the mound for us. Going up against Greg Allen. Grounds out to second. Oh, does not ground out. Spoke way ahead of myself. Brandon Lau ate it there. Now Isaiah Kiner-Falefa's up. He strikes out. Giancarlo Stanton. And he strikes out. All right. 2 outs. Runner on first. Juan Yepes up. And Greg Allen's running. And he's safe. Okay. 2 outs, 2-1 count, man on second. And that's going to get down. Oh, is that going to score a run? No, it didn't. Okay, he held up at third. All right. Gleyber's up. All right, and Boz is able to get out of it. That's what you like to see. All right, Brandon Lau up. Let's looking for a big comeback year for bounce back year at least for Lau here, but he's going to fly out to shallow left. We got Brian Reynolds up. Reynolds is going to hit it towards the gap. It gets down for a signal. So that's what I really like about this year's offense. It feels very deep. I mean, we were at 6, 7, 8. Cronenworth, Mead, Bush. They're all guys that can hurt you. So just like that, Cronenworth hits a single. All right, Curtis Mead up here in a big spot, man, on first and second. 1 out. Let's see if he can get anything going. He cannot. Strike out for Garrett Cole. Michael Bush up. Righty on lefty matchup here. Let's see if that works out for us. 2 outs. No, he strikes out 2. Man, Garrett Cole's having a pretty good day in the strikeout department. Shane Baz against Rays franchise legend Evan Longoria, and Evan Longoria goes deep, pulls that to left field. Jeez. Well, and Shane Baz, if you look up here, the top center, seems to be in pain. Pain in his right elbow. Great. You have to take him out of the ballgame. Okay. Well, I guess we're going to go Garrett Crochet here then. Long relief. Man, I hope that's not anything serious. That'd be an awful way to start the season. Garrett Crochet walks Connor Scott. No, against DJ LeMahieu, strikes him out. All right. Just get a double play here against Reese McGuire, who is a former Ray there. We got in the Francisco Mejia deal from the White Sox, and then dealt him to the Yankees for Trey Sweeney. There you go. And all right, gets him at second. All right, our offense needs to come back here. Keibert Ruiz. Man, why am I struggling with his name so much? Keibert Ruiz. I say all that by the time he's thrown out at first. Luis Garcia, we're flipping over the lineup, and he grounds out to short. All right. That's going to bring up Wander. They're shifted on Wander here. And Wander pops it up to shallow right. All right. Still only 1-0. We're going to keep Crochet in. Probably have him try to eat as many innings as he can before we turn it over to somebody else. And, okay. Cronenworth just decides to stop playing baseball there. Just kidding. Kind of fluff up, beats out the throw. He strikes out Stanton, though. Juan Yepes up. And that's going to sneak through this gap. Right down the middle. Oh, and he's going to get to third as well. All right. Glaber's up. Strike him out. All right. 2 outs. Evan Longoria's back up. Please, Evan. Have mercy. That's going to get down. Dang. All right, that's going to score another run. Man, Longoria. I thought he had no hard feelings against us. I guess not. Connor Scott, and he strikes out. All right, well. Another run for the Yankees, scored in third with Manny Margot up now. And, all right. Cole gets over to cover the bag. Brandon Lau up. Could not check his swing. And now Brian Reynolds. Man, whole lot of nothing going on right now. All right, Crochet. We'll try to keep him in here. At least we can face Reese McGuire here. Margot comes in to call that in. Going up against Reese, the lefty, and it doesn't pay off for us. Jeez. How is Greg Allen? Okay, he does prefer righties. Okay, we're going to try one more with Crochet here against Allen. All right, and that's going to work out for us, looks like. Cool. All right, so I think we're gonna go and bring in Patino now, since he's got a little bit of stamina left in him. Going up against the slew of righties that the Yankees have. Right down the middle strike. All right. Garrett Cole, he's only at 49 pitches so far. He's pitching a great game. Cronenworth got a hit his first time up. Oh, he beats that out too. Wow. All right. Leadoff single for Cronenworth. Curtis Mead. He hits. That's gotta be a gap shot, right? Yeah, off the wall. All right, second and third. Cronenworth can't get home. So no outs, man. Second and third. This is a huge inning, possibly. Michael Busch up, and of course he's just gonna strike out right down the middle. All right, Ruiz. That should be enough to score a run, maybe. All right, one run's in. Meets on third base. Luis Garcia up. Let's just get a single right here. Tied up. Does not. All right. Well, we cut the lead in half. Can't complain about that. Yep, we can keep Patino in here against Stanton. Then Yepes. All right, Stanton's going to ground out. It's really nice going up against a Aaron Judge-less Yankees lineup. Takes a little bit of the stress out. Juan Yepes up. He hits it fairly deep. That's going to be brought in by Garcia. And now Glaber. He strikes out. Cool. All right, Patino's really nice outing coming in. Garrett Cole up. Wander up against Garrett Cole. Wander's got, man, top of our lineup. Not getting too much out of him right now. And now Manny. He also can't check his swing. Brandon Lau, jeez. Oh, come on, guys. All right, Evan Longoria is 2 for 2 today with a solo shot. 2 RBIs. Keeping Patino in. All right, gets a strikeout. Connor Scott now. Oh, that's gonna get down. Yep, hits it the other way. And that's gonna get down as well. Jeez. 9 hits already for the Yankees. Double play? Let's go. All right. Didn't let that get too crazy. Now with Brian Reynolds up, we need somebody to do something here. Yeah, all right. Well, that's not anything. Cronenworth is 2 for 2 today. All right. We need to get it out of the infield as well. That would be nice. Well, speaking of, Curtis Mead did hit it off the wall last time. Oh, that's... Wow. And Scott with a crazy diving catch there. Okay. Do I want to keep in Patino? Yeah, let's try once. See if I regret this. Yeah, okay. Okay, well, we took Greg Allen out of the ball game, though. They're bringing in Jorge Soler. What kind of contract? Oh, jeez, he's still in a big. Sorry, I got distracted there. Okay. Who do we want to go to? Probably Cousins. Yeah, we're going to go Jake Cousins here. Because we got all these righties in a row. Kiner Falefa, he goes for the bunt. Oh, it popped it up, though. All right, Cousins got it. 1 out. Giancarlo stands up. That's Margot. He's there. That's why you get that good defense out there. And Juan Yepes He's also going to hit that to Margot. Although in the 5th inning, we kind of had an uneventful offensive game so far. Garrett Cole's pitched 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, no walks. He's averaging like 10 pitches an inning, so that's not great. Michael Bush, he's gonna, oh, all right. He gets on base though. Glaber couldn't bring that up. Ruiz bunts. Okay. I guess it worked. Got Bush over to second. Luis Garcia, this is who we really need to see do something. Over 3 in his Rays debut. He struck out, but is he... Okay, no. I thought he might made it on base for the strikeout. Wander's up. Wander's due as well. And... Nope. Man. All right. Bottom of the 8th here. We need some quick outs. And there's one. Long goes up. And that's going to get down. Jeez. Longoria's acting like it's 2008 right now. Okay. Connor Scott. How is this part of the Yankees lineup being the worst for me? Look at this. Look at these guys all down here. 7, 8, 9. What the heck? Oh, that was the other thing too. They have Anthony Volpe, who is, well, we got a double play there, ended the inning. But they have Anthony Volpe on the bench right now. Even though they don't have the strongest lineup in the world. I mean, they're beating me right now, but I'll show you just real quick. They have Volpe on the bench. Look at that, 70 overall. To be fair, he hasn't had like crazy seasons his first couple of times. He hasn't even been a full-time player yet. But he's got good ratings, but they have him on the bench in favor of Glaber, I guess. But all right, that's enough of that. Top of the 9th, this is our last chance. We just need 1 run. They do take out Garrett Cole. They bring in Fitz Stadler, but he gets a strikeout. Brandon Lau, come on. He strikes out too. Oh no. Okay, here we go. Brian Reynolds, it's up to him to keep it alive. And, okay, he gets a single. Right up the middle. And then now Jake Cronenworth, who's had a good game. He's 2 for 3. Come on, Cronenworth. And we lose the game on a pickoff throw to first. That's it. Brian Reynolds, he's off the team. Just kidding. All right, well, there you go. That's our problem right here. I reckon is our top half of our lineup right here. No hits. 3 strikeouts from Margot and Lau. Ugh, yeah, not a great start. Hopefully this is not, obviously just game 1, so I'm not going to be too much in a panic. It also doesn't help when your starting pitcher goes down in the 2nd inning. And he's got the dreaded diagnosis pending, so that's a great start. Goodness. So we had to kind of do committee here. Crochet, Patino, Cousins, who honestly none of them pitch bad. They all were pretty good. Crochet was the only one that let up a earned run there. Boz did let up the home run to Longoria. I mean, Cole's just obviously a monster. Man. All right, well, not a great start to the game there. Finish the day. Yeah, man, that stinks. All right, I still have a lot of faith in this team. I think we're going to be hopefully very competitive. I mean, it stinks. Hopefully we don't lose our ace in the first game, but that's all right. Anyways, so please give me some feedback on the series if you would like to see anything different. Let me know how you think the offseason went, what you think about our team. I'll end it off with going to our, reports, our preseason predictions here. They have us going, ending up in 2nd place in the AL East, which is slightly over 500, which I don't think I agree with. I think we have a much better year than that. But yeah, so I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. All right, just kidding. Came back for 1 second just to show Oz's injury did come back. Elbow strain. He's going to be out for 5 weeks. Obviously not optimal, but I'm glad it's not like a season-ending injury. So we're going to have to bring somebody else up. But just wanted to update that since it was going to happen pretty close. And we went 1-2 so far. But yeah, anyways, okay. You guys have a great day. Talk to you soon. Peace.